Hello and thank you for joining us. This is Excel add-in training for Orbit, the digital measuring network from Solartron Metrology. Just to give a quick review, the Excel add-in is a free software pack that you can download from the Solartron website. What this package does is outputs readings from the Solartron Orbit network into an Excel spreadsheet. This package will connect with all digital Solartron sensors, including digital probes, the digital block gauge, linear encoder, as well as Orbit lasers. This package will run with 4 different interface modules: the USB interface, the RS-232 interface, the Ethernet TCP IP interface, as well as a wireless interface module over Bluetooth. For this package, we're going to review 3 basic things. First is just to set up some probes and have them output into an Excel spreadsheet. Also, we're going to show you how to output gauge readings into the Excel spreadsheet via the wireless connection module, which is also called the WCM. In addition, we will set up a digital input-output module within the Excel spreadsheet. Now we have just some basic computer requirements. We do recommend that you run this on Microsoft Windows 10 because that is what this package has been tested against, but it should run for, say, Windows XP or Windows 8. In addition, for a computer, we do recommend a minimum processor of 1 gigahertz or faster with 2 megabytes of RAM. For the Excel package itself, we do recommend a minimum Excel 2007 or higher. For this training, this is running on Windows Office 365 along with Windows 10. The first thing you want to do to install the Excel add-in software to your computer is to go to the company website at solartronmetrology.com. Then if you go over and click on Service and Supports, then scroll down to Drivers and Software. Then if you scroll down, you will see downloads, the Orbit 3 support pack for Windows and the Orbit 3 Excel add-in. You will actually want to download both of these. The support pack for Windows actually runs several of the things in the background that you need for the Excel add-in to operate. Now, after you have installed the Orbit 3 support pack as well as the Excel add-in, the software pack will actually create a new folder under the Documents drive on your PC. If you look and see, you will have a folder labeled Solartron Metrology. And if you click and open this, you'll have a folder for the Orbit 3 Excel add-in. What this includes is a README file. This just shows the latest updates to the software package and what version it is. Also, an Orbit 3 Excel add-in user manual, which is shown right here. In addition, you have programming examples, which we will get to in a bit, as you can see example 1 through example 6. Now, this is the basic equipment setup we'll have for this demonstration. A Windows 10 computer with Excel, and it will be connected to Orbit via a USB interface module. You have 2 digital probes. One of them is connected to a stand right here. Then we also have a 3mm digital probe. In addition, we have a gauge, which will connect to the wireless connection module on the stack. And then we also have the digital input-output module connected to a utility box. Okay, so the first step we are going to take, and this is after you have installed the software drivers as well as install the Excel add-in, is we're just going to connect with the network, identify 2 probes, and then dump the information from those probes into a blank spreadsheet like this. So when you first open up an Excel workbook, you'll have a home page like this. Go over to add-ins, and if you'll see, the Solartron Metrology Orbit bubble is over here on the left-hand side. There are some buttons on here that aren't live yet, but first you can click About. This is the basic information in terms of the versions of the Orbit library, as well as some contact information. But the first thing you want to do is click Connect. Okay, so now you're able to click the button Settings. So if you click here, you'll see that you have a configuration bubble, and you have 2 tabs. You have Spreadsheet and Orbit Networks. So go to Orbit Networks, and if you'll see, we have a USB interface module connected to the computer right now, and that is shown here. The next thing you want to do is, of course, set up your modules. Click Find All Modules. And here you see 2 probes connected to the Orbit stack. Now, if you want to change the order of these, you can actually just click and highlight it, move that first or second. So then that kind of sets the order in terms of how you want these in your columns or in your rows. And over here is where you can change the settings right now for resolution or averaging. So once you have this set, go back to spreadsheet. Here you can choose between different spreadsheets that you have set up. Right now we're just going to do sheet 1. And if you'll see, you can do an initial cell address. Like here we'll just do A1. And then you have a few options here. Next row, next column, or same column. Right now we'll just do next row, continuous readings, and we'll just start with the space bar. And if you'll see, there's a few other options here, such as enable hints. That basically gives a feature where like little bubbles will pop up that give you hints while you are trying to set up things along the way. There's also the option to enable a timestamp, display the module ID headings. So at the top of the column, you'll see the ID of the probe that you have identified. You also have an option for buffer readings here as well. You also have an option for units, switch between millimeter or inch. So now that we have this set up, click OK. So now if you'll see, several other buttons have gone live. So you have 0 modules, reset, and take readings. First thing, if you're mastering, is 0 modules. And if you click the tab here, you could actually 0 one at a time if you want. But right now we're just going to do all modules. Modules have been 0. So now, take readings. So once I start pressing the space bar, what you have is the results. In the first column, you have the start time and then a timestamp. Second column is the first probe that has been set up. The third column is the second probe that you have set up. So once you are done, you can click Stop Readings. Now another option too is you can do this with a timer. So for this, let's go back to Settings. And actually, we'll put this on Sheet 2. Again, do an initial cell address. Here, you have your options. You can also do Enter. You can do number pad. And then here's a timer. There's also the DIOM, which we will discuss in a minute. So let's just go to Timer. Let's make the delay every 0.5 seconds between readings. Now if you see here, and when you switch to timer, it'll automatically go to same row or same column. So if you leave it with the settings here and continuous readings, let's show you what happens. Starts take readings. So what you're going to see is that the readings are instantly being fed into this one particular row. And this is actually handy if you just want to see the data live in a cell, but also see a graph next to it. Click Stop. And then if we go back into Settings, we're still on timer. If we unclick the box for continuous readings, you can then, let's say we want to take 50 readings on a timer. And here now you'll have the option for next row or next column. We'll just go next row. Have everything set. Click OK. So now, as soon as you click Take Readings, you will see that the orbit network is taking measurements every half a second for up to 50 readings. So the next thing we're going to do is just go through one or two examples that have been loaded up onto your computer if you have downloaded the Orbit Excel add-in software pack. So here, if you go back to the Orbit 3 Excel add-in file, of course you have the menu here. Then if you open examples, let's just go to example 1. So here we have example 1 open. And this is just a very simple parts analysis where you take 5 readings and then you see them on a graph. Take 5 measurements from one orbit module. So first thing we'll do, we already have this connected. Go to Settings, go to Orbit Networks. Here, set up one probe here. Already have this set up. Back to Spreadsheet. For this, it's going to start in cell C10. Place the next reading, next row, and then stop after 5 readings. So click OK. Set up the configuration. So now, if we click Take Readings, and I'm just going to sample on the spacebar. So if you see, we have 5 readings taken, and then you can see those on a graph. So now let's take a look at example 2, which you double click here. So this is example 2. And this is where you can actually take the readings of probes and then put them into a graph like this. So first we're just going to go to reading. And if you see here, we have 2 probes set up. Just have continual readings dumped into cell B8 and C8. So if you go to settings, this is how you're set up. First of all, with orbit networks, you of course want to identify 2 probes through a USB. Then under spreadsheet, you want to have it sampled on timer every 0.05 seconds, place next reading on same row, and then have continuous readings. Don't have it stop after 5 readings because that'll be almost instantaneous. So click OK. So now when I click take readings, you will see instantaneous measurements in both readings A and B. These are just 2 simple 1 millimeter and 2 millimeter probes. Then if I click over to graph, you'll see that these readings can also be seen on a nice simple graph in case your customer wants a simple visual representation. And again, the scaling for the dimension can be changed. Right now the bars just aren't going very high. It should be noted too that when you set up a program like this, that the information such as the settings, the spreadsheet, the orbit networks, if you save this, all of this information will be saved to the program as well. So if you pull this up later, all of this information, again, will pull up the module information, the orbit networks.